welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today I am going to talk to you about my thoughts, my review, on the anime Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion. Ooh, sounds nifty, right? It is. It's fabulous. So let me start by saying that we watched this on Netflix and it was dubbed. I say we because it's been a while since this has happened in my house, but I started watching the anime solo and then I had it on while I was making dinner because it's dubbed so I can hear and watch. Nice, very cool. And my youngest sat down and he started watching it as well. Next thing I knew, the boys were there and they were watching it, and normally I would just go and go and go and go and go. But I had to let them catch up with me, and then we finished the whole series together. It was 2 seasons, and I have to say, it's exciting because they enjoyed it as much as I did. So now let's get to the nitty-gritty of it all. What were my thoughts? What do I think? Now, I will make sure that I don't throw any spoilers in there. I'll go over key characters that I liked, how I felt the anime was, and I think that's important so you can kind of get an idea of it. But I don't want to give you any plot lines or, the basic plot I'll give you. But I don't want to give anything that's going to make you not enjoy it. I want you to come up with your own opinions on it. I don't want there to be a spoiler in there that ruins it for you because it's a great anime to watch in its completion. And there's evidently a movie that my youngest says that we need to go find where it is. So if that tells you anything, it means that it's a great anime. So where do we start? How do we begin? Let's talk about the backstory that we find out a little bit of in the first episode. We find out that we are in Japan, or what was once known as Japan. It has now run under it was taken over by an attack from Britannia, which is one of the there are 3 political sides. You have Britannia, you have the EU, and you have the Chinese Federation. Well, the war changed and Britannia took over, and we find out that Japan was decimated, and they were decimated by these nightmares, a new technology of machinery, human-operated machinery, guns. Yeah, and they walk and, it's a mech. It's what it is. It's a mech. Anyway, so we find out that this is what has happened, and with every type of a takeover by another political party, you find that there's going to be rebellions, and so that's where we're at. We find the main character, Lelouch, and we are introduced to him. He attends an academy. He seems like a nice young boy. Again, don't want to give too much away, but I think I can safely give you this part. You see that he's a very smart, strategic young man who might have a little bit of a gambling problem, but that's because the fact that he's so good at strategy. So we are introduced to him trying to right a wrong and doing it in a chess game. Then we move on to what we assume is something has been stolen from Britannia. That's very important to them. And it's done by the rebellion. Enter rebellion, yay! So we have a rebellion. Because, the Japanese, or the people who were known as Japanese, are no longer known as Japanese. They have now been titled as a number. 11s. I know. So they're stripped of all their culture and all of that and demeaned into that's what they are. And there's a rebellion for this. As you would imagine that would be in, I think, any country. It happens all the time. Look at the news. So we have this, and as they are being chased down by the Britannia police, the nightmares, all of this happening, there is an accident, and Lelouch, he jumps into action. He doesn't know that they're running away from the officers. He just sees that somehow this truck gets into an accident and he goes to help. So he goes to help, and in doing so, falls into the truck. The truck gets back on the road. They're trying to hide from the military that is after them, and he is then confused as a rebel. You knew it was going to happen, right? A rebel. Well, as he is being convicted, in essence, or assumed that he is a rebel, the person who finds him, there's one more little key point in there. What is it that they were looking for? We find out that it is a young girl. That was this weapon or whatever. We don't really know. We don't know anything about her. It's just that these two have come together, and then he is caught, but not really caught because he didn't do anything wrong, right? Wrong place, wrong time. But Britannia is bound and determined that no one knows what happens, and they must get this and, in essence, kill all witnesses, right? So who's the military officer that finds him? We find out it's Zuko, who winds up being a childhood friend of Lelouch's. And he just can't do it. He's hearing that he should kill him. He just can't do it. Not at all. Then more military forces come in, and we're there at a stalemate, and they're like, no, we're just going to kill him. All of a sudden, this unknown girl, she jumps in front of the bullet to save Lelouch. Down on the ground. And then his friend, Suzuko, he looks over, and the other military officer is like, you need to kill him. No? Okay. That's two. Okay. If you hadn't noticed, people die in this anime. They do. And you're like, holy cow, this is happening all so fast. This is a lot in one anime, right? Yes, it is. So in her dying breath, he and her have this brief moment conversation. Almost like a frozen thing. And she's like, he's the one. And she offers him great power. And they have to agree that they will make a contract. If they make this contract, he will have great power. Okay, he's watched her get shot. He's watched his friend get shot. He's got all these people. He's gonna die. Take the deal, right? What kind of power could you get? Enter the power of Geass. So, what is Lelouch's power with Geass? He has the power to control people. That's a really great power. So that is how it starts. And yes, there's a lot more to it, but I don't want to give anything away. But your characters, you've already learned a few. So next, we're going to find out that that girl's name is C2. She is the one who gives him the power of the Geass and helps him through it. He has a little sister named Nunnally. We find out a lot about their backstory of who they were, who they are, and that they're in hiding. Why is this? We find that the leader, or one of the leaders of the rebellion, is Kellen, a young girl who's extremely powerful. We have the Emperor, we have the Prince, we have, oh my goodness, there's so many characters. So many characters and such a great story. It does go beyond just normal anime, everyday kind of antics, although remember they're at the academy, so there's a school life. We are introduced to the character Zero. Zero is the hero. He is the enemy. It just depends on your point of view. I'm really just, that's where I want to stop. Because there's so much about this show that is just enjoyable to watch, and you'll enjoy the journey. Is there fan service? You know what? This one is really not about that type of fan service. Is there violence and people dying? Yes, a lot. It is a war. There is a rebellion going on. Is it a psychological thinking anime? It is. It's very cool. Did I mention Lelouch was great at strategy? Is there a lot of backstory? Yes. And it comes in the pieces to tie it all together. You have dilemmas of, if you can control what people do you use it? Is it real? There's a lot of turmoil. There's power struggles. There is so many wonderful things in this anime. I personally thought that the animation itself was fabulous. I love mechs. I didn't realize how much I loved mechs and battle scenes. And the battle scenes are phenomenal. I love the idea of the different cultures and what they bring. It's just, there's a deep society aspect of this anime where there's a lesson to be learned. So, there you go. I'm kind of short. But the boys and I loved it. I hope you love it too. Would love to know who your favorite character is. For me, it's really hard. It's really, really hard to say who my favorite is. I do love me some Lelouch, or Lulu. But that's just, it's complicated. How's that? If my Facebook status asks me what was my relationship with Lelouch, it's complicated. So you have that. Now, I do hope you enjoy it. I'd love to know what you think about it. If there's another anime that you think I should watch. Now this anime, by the way, was suggested to me and I was so excited about it. I got a PM, so I was looking it up and I'm like, okay, I will check out this anime. So thank you for the suggestion. Really loved it. The boys loved it. Rock on this anime. Hope to see you again. I'm glad you're here. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you did it. If you click that little ring bell thing, you'll be notified every time I go and upload or even do a live. Pretty cool. I like that. Now, my schedule for uploading is every Monday and Friday at 10 a.m. CST. Thanks again so much for coming by. Really appreciate you, and have a nice